How to graft a knit stitch. Hi everyone, my name is Norman. I run the blog nimbleneedles.com, and today I want to show you a very easy way to graft knit stitches and create invisible edges and seams. When you're knitting socks or hats, a lot of beginners have problems with their cast on and cast off edges. There's often this annoying little step or gap where you joined in the round or you finished your bind off. Or maybe you love knitting toys and you need to attach an arm or a tail and your seams just don't look neat. So here's a super simple way to fix all these problems with the same technique once and for all. I mentioned this technique in quite a lot of my knitting patterns, and since I've received a lot of questions recently, I thought it would be best to record a little video. By the way, make sure to comment below if you have a knitting problem you want me to address in one of my next videos. Anyway, let's show you how to graft knitting stitches. Now, I assume you already watched my Kitchener stitch tutorial. This is the most popular way to graft knit stitches. I'll link it to you up in here. And the Kitchener stitch is wonderful if you want to seam things together like the toes of your socks. But it really won't help you if you want to fix your cast on edge. So here's a really easy solution. Thread your tail on a tapestry needle. And then you have to go underneath the V of this first cast off or bind off stitch. See, you have to go underneath and pull your tail through. And then you need to go underneath the last cast off or bind off stitch from the other side, like this, and pull tight. And ta-da! You grafted your first knit stitch to bridge the gap, and your edge looks quite beautiful. Now you only need to bring the yarn to the back again and weave in the tail on the wrong side, and your edge will be almost invisible. The first time I saw this technique many years ago, it totally blew my mind away. It's so simple and yet so perfect. Comment below if you feel the same. Let's graft one more knit stitch to bridge the gap of the cast on edge. So again, go underneath the first stitch. Go underneath the first stitch. And then go underneath the last stitch. Pull tight, and just like that you bridge the gap, and now you can hide the tail or weave in the tail on the back side. Now, one thing I have to add is you probably started your cast on with a slip knot, and this slip knot will always be a bit visible. Still, I think it creates a much neater and smoother edge. And when you're closing a seam with the mattress stitch, you can do exactly the same. So go underneath that way here and go underneath that way here, and just like that you are creating a really neat edge. So this way of grafting knit stitches can be used in so many places where you end up with really neat and invisible edges. Now you can use the same method to attach something to your knitting by grafting stitches. So let's say you are knitting a toy and you want to attach an arm or something. So again, thread your tail on a tapestry needle, and then again go underneath the V of a knit stitch, pull the yarn through, and then go underneath the V of these knit stitches as well. And then move on to the next knit stitch directly next to it and go underneath that as well. Move on to the next. So it's always the same, just go underneath these knit stitches. Be careful, don't pull too tightly on those on that tail, otherwise you will mess up your stitches. and move from one stitch to the next. And you're probably already seeing how lovely this seam will be. Let me get to the finish line first. And I mean, it's important that you stay in one row as you do this, and you don't accidentally move one row up or down, otherwise your seam will not look perfect either. So up, and here is my last stitch, so go underneath the weave one last time. And that's how it looks like now. I mean, you know, it's not totally invisible, but I feel so much better than other seaming techniques. And of course you can also tighten up those stitches a bit with your needle to make the seam even more invisible. And again, I think this method is just so simple, and it even feels a bit like magic. Anyway, I hope I was able to show you how to graft a knit stitch. Please give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed watching, comment with your questions and your feedback, and of course consider subscribing to my channel in case you don't want to miss any new videos. Happy knitting and enjoy the rest of your day.